Hello, welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley, and this class will be the first in a three-part series, kind of applying for a job workshop. Class number one, this class will talk about writing a cover letter, which is normal to do when applying for a job in Western countries. You normally send forward a cover letter with a resume or curriculum vitae, CV, attached to try to get an interview. Basically, these three classes I'm holding today, three classes in a row. The first class will look at cover letters. Second, we'll look at resume or CV. And the third, we'll practice the actual job interview. And basically, that order is the order which your prospective employee is going to be looking at you as a prospective employee. First thing, they're going to see your cover letter. The entire job of your cover letter is to get them to look at your resume. The entire purpose of your resume is to get them to schedule an interview. It may be different in different places. I've worked in recruiting before, so basically what really gets you the job is the interview, to be perfectly honest. You need to get that interview, or perhaps even a second interview. The interview is what sells you. So again, I repeat, your cover letter is just trying to sell the HR department or whoever's hiring, to convince them to spend 3 more minutes to look at your resume. And the resume is just there to convince them to pick up the phone and call you in for an interview. I mean, that's really it. Okay, so today in this class, first of all, we're going to look at a cover letter, which also, by the way, basic business letter, writing business letters in English. This is a good example. So if you want to learn some overall business writing skills in English, good class for you. Hello, Jose Luis. How are you?
Fine, teacher, and you?
I'm good. Thanks. I'm doing good. I got a long day ahead.
Teaching or?
Teaching, yeah. 6 classes in a row. Woo!
Oh.
And then a small break, and then 2 or 3 more. It's a big day. Woo! So, yeah, I'm just starting out. So here we go. All right. Jose, have you ever applied for a job for an American company or other Western company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I apply sometimes for a new job.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And in Mexico, the process is that you send your CV first, and then the company calls you.
Yeah.
We have a page in internet when you can show or load your CV, and you apply for the job that you want.
Right. Yeah. Okay. There's many. These types of websites are very common nowadays. That you can use the website sort of as a medium to get to the possible employers. Okay. Do you usually? Oh, when you use that format, well, I'm not sure. Do you use a cover letter or just the resume, just the CV?
Yes, just the CV, teacher. You never show or give a cover letter. No.
Okay.
Only your CV. Yes.
All right. Okay. Because of that specific format in an internet website. But okay, if you're going to apply directly to a company, an international company or American company or whatever, I would suggest that you do include a cover letter. It's a good idea. Even if you're just, I mean, if you're emailing, then your cover letter is the body of your email, and you attach your resume. That's pretty normal if you're applying directly to a company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, just a word about the real basic approach here. The most common mistake that people make is they sit down and, oh, I'm going to write a resume, and they write everything they did, and oh, it looks really good, and they're very happy with it, and hooray, hooray. Yeah, but the thing is, they think they're done, but they're not done. That's the start. You want to have your resume prepared really all the time. And even if you have a job, you want to have a prepared resume somewhere on file, because you never know when you're going to hear about a much better job. And then you have your resume. Now, your resume that you write is basically your template, because here is the biggest thing to know. You need to modify your resume and cover letter, and really your whole approach to the job interview based on each individual company. What people tend to do, and this is a mistake, they tend to make one cover letter and one resume and send it out to 8 different people. The exact same copy. Not a good strategy. You want to investigate the company a little bit, look at any information you can find about what they're looking for. If they actually have some kind of ad or information about what employee they're looking for, you need to study that and react to that with your cover letter and your resume. In other words, putting your strengths first, which match the company's desires. Okay, you're trying to match what the company wants with what you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So, individualizing your information.
It's a good advice, because maybe you have a lot of experience in different fields, but the company needs your knowledge only but in a specific field, right?
Right.
And you can use a different cover letter or CV for this specific job. It's a good advice, teacher. I never thought about
Yeah.
this.
It's very, very true. And there may be similar or related jobs, or you could be a nut like me, Jose, and I have a lot of experience being a chef, in marketing,
Exactly. Yes.
teaching, very, very different disciplines.
For
You know, so.
In my experience, for example, I have experience in international logistics and local logistics into Mexico. So maybe some companies looking for me for international, but others maybe for local. And we
Bingo.
have to change my CV, right, teacher?
Exactly. All right, that's a perfect example. Yes, exactly. Let me welcome Vu. Hello, Vu. Hey, Vu. How are you today?
Hi, teacher.
Hi. How's it going?
Pretty good.
What?
Uh,
What did you
the
say?
weather is nice. It's sunny and cloudy.
Did you say
Can you
pretty
hear me?
good? I can hear you. Yeah.
Is sunny. Yes,
Okay. Did you say pretty good?
because it's sunny and cloudy.
Okay.
Yes.
So you said pretty good. Okay. I thought at first I thought you said
Plus,
feisty good,
please.
which would be a little strange but funny.
Oh my God.
You know feisty? Somebody who's feisty. They have a lot of energy, and they will.
No, teacher.
If you're feisty, it means that you kind of maybe are a little abrasive. You're ready to fight with people. You don't let people just walk all over you. You're feisty. You fight back. That's what it means. Somebody who's ready to fight back.
Oh.
Thought you were feisty good. Making me nervous, Boo. Okay. All right. So first giant piece of advice: individualize your information, your CV, and your cover letter. Secondly, when you're doing this, you should know this. I used to work in recruiting. I may get, especially if there's an advertisement out, you know, I could get 40 or 50, and I worked in a small to medium-sized company. I could get 40 to 50 resumes a day. So I'm the one who's looking at these and saying yes, no, yes, no. What do you think I'm going to do if I get a cover letter, and there is no cover letters, just a resume? What if I get a cover letter with misspellings? I don't even bother to read it. If I have a cover letter with no, just very little information from an email address that says sexykittenloveyounow.com. Be aware of that, by the way. Your email address is looked at. It's there, you know. So if you have, you know, sexy lover 69 is your email address you're sending your resume with, that's, guess what? You're not going to get a job. Yeah. So I need to get through these 60 emails as quickly as possible. So I have a very short attention span. So you need to keep that in mind. The person looking at your information is trying to get through this and get to lunch. So trying to be too wordy or too theatrical, poetic, use big words. No, you need to be concise, business-like, and straight to the point, and put the most important information first. All right? Not only are you trying to, your cover letter's trying to convince me to look at your CV. Your CV's trying to convince me to call you for an interview. Even within the body of each of these documents, you're trying to entice me into continuing to read. Okay? Keep this mindset. All right? Okay. Any overall questions, gentlemen? And before I start, I'm going to show you some documents and talk about the template for CV letter. Is there any overall questions about applying for a job?
In American companies, is common send cover letters, teacher? Is common?
It certainly is, and if you're sending a direct email directly to the company, your email should be your cover letter. And yes, it is common. Or even if you're dropping off a hard copy, all right, you would normally have, like, your resume, again, keeping it brief because these people don't have a lot of time, 1 or 2 page resume and a cover letter on top, and maybe a paper clip or something to hold them together. Okay? I'll tell you another little secret. I used to hate it when people would staple it, because sometimes I would separate the cover letter. The cover letter is the cover letter, and I would file the resume and often just throw away the cover letter if it convinced me to look at the resume. A paper clip is much better, actually, because then I can separate them. I don't know, it's just neater. It's a tiny little thing. But anyway, even if you're delivering a hard copy, yeah, it's much better to do that. It's much better to have a cover letter. It's like an introduction. Plus, it's kind of polite. It's more professional. All right. Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the class. Hey, Joseph. Good evening.
Hi, teacher.
There you are. I'm good. Good. Thanks. Okay, Joseph. You arrived just in time. I'm going to do a screen share here and talk about basically I'm going to talk about what Stefan outside the class is asking about. So Stefan, hold your horses. We're going to get to that. All right. You need to follow, a cover letter needs to follow the basic format of a typical business letter. Absolutely. It is a professional business letter. You're basically addressing 3 general issues, keeping it very simple. You're usually looking at 3 paragraphs. First paragraph, why you're writing. Get right to the point. Again, you're trying to grab someone's attention. If you're applying for a job of a stenographer and I already know that I have to fire one of my stenographers because I have too many, well, guess what? That information is right there. This does not mean I'm going to throw away your resume and your cover letter. This means I'll keep it on file. If it's professionally done, I'm going to keep your information on file. And if suddenly, you know, the stenographer's office gets bombed by terrorists and I need stenographers, I'll be calling you soon. Okay. That's a horrible example, and I apologize for that. Okay. All right, so get right.
Maybe
Yeah.
Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was really, really horrible. I'm sorry for that. Okay, in the middle, you're going to have what you offer. Again, talking about what you offer as in the light of, from the perspective of what does the company need, or what, as far as you know, what does the company need. Also, very important, another highly overlooked area here, how you will follow up. Okay? Definitely. Now, this, really, when I worked in recruiting, sometimes a decision would not be made yet. Who was to be hired? However, one of the applicants would then follow up. Okay, they'd contact me again with another email, perhaps, and just very professionally asking if he'd had a chance to look at my information, and I'm still very eager to work for your company. Just letting you know that I'm still available for an interview. Guess what? I'd immediately call that person in. Very, very important to follow up on your information. Now, you know, Jose was telling me earlier about, and I've seen and worked with these websites, so I know exactly what he means. Websites that have a job and then they post their jobs and you contact them through the website, right? So
Okay.
very difficult to follow up,
Mm-hmm.
right? I might suggest that you attempt to follow up anyway, because that would be pretty impressive. Try following up directly. Now they have the website, so your application, your initial sending them the CV should be done following that format, because that's what they set that up, because that's what they want. That's efficient for them. But you might want to try following up individually anyway, even if there's no avenue to do that in the website. Okay, so in your cover letter you should state how you're going to follow up. And then you do it. You know what? That's impressive. Okay, I will call you in 1 week. I will send you, I will follow up with an email in 1 week. And then you do it. Well, you know, that's impressive. That means you actually follow through on the work you do. Okay. All right. Now, why you were writing? Okay. First of all, as I stated, you need to put what job you're trying to get. Or maybe you're not trying for a specific job, but a job in a certain area. Well, okay, you can make that clear. Now, you have to, in the first paragraph, think about why you're writing. Have you been referred? In other words, maybe you know somebody else who works at that company, a friend or an acquaintance. Maybe a colleague has, who knows, a mutual contact that does business with this company you're applying for. You need to bring that up pretty quickly. Again, as you know and I know, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm sure this is the same situation in all your countries. It seems to be international. If you know somebody, you have a much better chance. So, again, we're bringing the most important information. We're stating that first. So bring that up right away. In fact, I would bring that up immediately. My colleague, John Smith, has informed me there may be an opening in your company for a mechanical engineer. First sentence. Oh, John Smith. Oh, you know, you work in recruiting. You know people throughout the company because you've probably hired them. Oh, yeah, I know John Smith. He's one of my good hires. This is going to grab their attention, all right? Unless, of course, John Smith is a total jerk. So, all right, use common sense. You know, if your friend or acquaintance who recommends you for the job is an axe murderer, you may not want to mention that. All right. Okay. All right. Now, maybe you've been referred. Maybe you're responding to a job posting. You should actually mention that. I saw your advertisement in jobsearch.com. I saw your advertisement in the Los Angeles Times, whatever. Okay, so you want to show what the position, the title of the position, where you heard it. Okay, so that could be mentioned in your first paragraph. Another type of cover letter would be called a prospecting letter. Like you're prospecting for gold, you're searching around. You don't really know if there's a job or not. So you're prospecting. Okay, you don't know if there's really a job, so you're inquiring. In which case, of course, as I already mentioned, you need to immediately put in what job objectives, specific job, or again, it could be just in an area. Okay, I would like to work in some sort of customer service area. I have done technical support. I have worked in sales, as well as follow-up customer service. Okay, so it doesn't have to be specific. Okay, again, worth noting, I keep saying this, especially a prospecting letter, since it's unsolicited, means it wasn't asked for. There's no advertisement for a job. Again, even more important to capture the reader's attention. All right, get right to the point. Okay, if you're just writing a networking letter, okay, a networking letter would be, well, it's very similar to prospecting, but you're really looking for information. So, okay, for example, I was curious if your company had any overseas operations in Mexico, where I live. I really want to remain in Mexico because I have a very young family. I have just started a family with young children. I would love to work for your company. However, I need to stay in Mexico. Something like that. So you're asking about information. Again, come directly to the point. Now, if I receive such a letter and it was directed to the point and not wasting my time, I would probably immediately hit the return key in my email and send you back the information in a couple, 3 lines, a really brief answer. All right? As long as you're coming to the point with me, I'll get right back to you, frankly. Because that's not going to take me a lot of effort. And I can stop thinking. You stated what you need. It's right there. 30 seconds, I can shoot you a quick email. So, again, come right to the point. Okay, so that's all of that is basically your first paragraph. It depends, again, your approach depends on, did you see an advertisement, are you prospecting, or have you been referred by someone, or you just have a question?
The companies never look for employees, teacher? It's always the employees looks for a job?
No, the companies definitely look for employees. There's no question about that. In my experience, when the company looks for employees, though, they get 10 times more possible employees than they need.
Yes, yes.
Right.
But in this case, it's necessary to do the cover letter if the company looks for you, or?
Well, again, you know, if you're using a specific website that does not request a cover letter, some websites do request a cover letter, actually.
Mm-hmm.
General rule of thumb, if you're independently answering, you know, the internet is not the only way. Some people still have, you may see trade magazines, you may see an advertisement for a job, all right? You may see in newspapers, you may be referred by my cousin works at the company, all right?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I don't have a website to go by. In these kinds of cases, cover letter is recommended. It's more professional, frankly. Certainly, it absolutely cannot hurt you. There's no way a cover letter can hurt you unless, of course, you refuse to use spell check and your grammar is atrocious and horrible. Then it can hurt you. But
yes, it's true.
Right. Okay. Paragraph 2, basically what you have to offer. Again, illustrating how your particular abilities and experience relate to the position. This is the key. Obviously, in a prospecting letter, you're not sure. So you have to guess. Do the best you can. It is particularly important and impressive if there is obvious evidence that you have researched the company. Definitely this is true. And for sure, if you actually land an interview, you want to research the company, because I will tell you, as somebody who interviewed, I don't know, 1,000 people, it's always impressive to me when it's obvious that the applicant has researched the company, understands what the company does, knows the company's goals. You're in. You're really, it's super impressive.
Oakley,
Mm-hmm.
how do you pronounce the word thoroughly? Thoroughly. What's the pronunciation?
Thoroughly. Where was that?
Thoroughly. Thoroughly. Organization.
Oh yeah, here it is. Thoroughly. Thoroughly. Yes. Or
Thoroughly.
And that's the adverb, of course. Thorough. Complete. Thorough. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks. That is so commonly mispronounced by second language speakers. Yeah. So thanks for bringing my attention to that. Emphasis. Okay, now another good point. This point applies to your cover letter and your CV. Emphasize your achievements and problem-solving skills. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself. I did this, I did that, I'm great at this, I solved this problem for the company, I was able to double production on the floor, on the operations floor, I was able to solve a huge problem with an international buyer, whatever it may be. Good things you do. Think about the good days you had at work and talk about them. Again, keeping it succinct, brief, and to the point, but do not be shy. Okay? Different cultures, I know, have different ideas of what is bragging too much or what is, what is inappropriate when talking about yourself. Well, throw all those cultural biases, throw all those things out the window. Because if you're applying in an American company, a British company, Canadian, Australian, international company, you know what? I'll tell you something. The braggarts get the jobs. The shy and modest people are not going to get the job. I'm just going to be blunt and say it. Yes, sometimes nice people finish last, okay? You can't be nice. Just go ahead, show off. Okay, show your education and work skills are transferable to the position for which you're applying. Okay, many times. What does that mean? Many times we're applying for a job that is not directly something we've done or something that we've been specifically educated to do. Okay. Absolutely. So there's maybe aspects of your prior job or aspects of your education, certain courses, workshops you attended. You want to highlight those things because they're relevant to the job you're trying to get. So those things come first. Okay. Basically, third paragraph. Okay, you definitely should reiterate that you're very interested in the job. You would really like an opportunity, something like that. Definitely let the employee know how they can reach you, your contact info, and it's okay to, again, be very direct. Bid directly for the job interview or informational interview. Maybe there's a series of interviews, whatever. And say when you're going to follow up with a telephone call or an email. All right. Notice what this says. Indicate you will follow up with a telephone call to set up an appointment at a mutual convenient time. That's pretty direct and straightforward and very, very aggressive. That's very aggressive. I'm not sure if I would be that aggressive, but the idea is you do need to be aggressive. You could be a little more, I don't know, passive aggressive and mention, if you would like me to come in for an interview, I can be reached between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. at this number. It's another sort of aggressive way to do it, and it sort of ensures that you're not going to miss the call for some reason.
Is aggressive to suggest an appointment for the call, teacher?
It's aggressive, but I'm not using aggressive as a bad word, you know.
Oh yeah, I understand. It's aggressive in your character, maybe.
Yeah, and that's not bad. It means you're okay. You're determined. That actually reflects well. So I'm not using it as a negative.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, definitely this is true. Beware of this. An employee may explicitly prohibit phone calls. Okay, if they do that, then don't call. Um, or you may be responding to a blind ad, which means there's absolutely no contact information. It's a startup business. They don't even have a website. So there's no way for you to get this sort of contact information. Okay, well, then you can't. At the very least, you should confirm that your materials were received and that your application is complete. There you go. So you follow up in 3 days, a week. You send an email, even if you have no phone number, and you say, okay, I'm just wanted to inquire if you'd received my application and that all information that you need was included in the application. If not, I would be very happy to send you anything else that you may need. Okay. Being polite, but again, reminding them that you're there. Now, this style is what I personally have always done. Sending an email later and just saying, oh, is everything okay? In a very polite way. Andre, in the chat box, has a very good question. Is it okay to write with an attitude like you are thinking you already have the job? It's a fine line, Andre, but more or less, yes. You want to be aggressive and confident in your tone, in your cover letter. You know, your CV is quite neutral, but of course, you know, neutral. However, you need to brag about yourself. You need to impress them. In your interview, you need to sort of have the attitude that you're going to be hired. In fact, it's a very silly thing. Well, it seems silly, but it's a psychological thing. If you, before your interview, go in the bathroom and, I've got this job. I've got this job. This is my job. For some reason, yelling and being excited and envisioning the job is yours and psyching yourself up, for some reason, psychologically, will in fact translate into you having a more confident appearance, being more confident in the interview, and doing a better job. Weird thing, but I've seen studies about this. Very strange thing. So basically, you should not just say, okay, when should I start? You know, don't go in completely in your mind, but you should be thinking you have the job. But should you say it? When should I start? No, not that aggressive. That may be slightly over the top. Although, I confess that I myself have ended an interview and said, so when do I start? I have actually done that before. And nobody got mad at me. They just laughed and said, oh, okay, we'll be in touch. Or a couple times at the end of the interview when I said, so when do I start? They said, well, can you start Monday? Sometimes being very aggressive and assuming the sale actually works. Actually, that's one of the things that I pretty much always do. I say it like it's a joke, but sometimes they say, well, how about Monday? Okay. Oh, yeah, here's another point. If you are not in the area where you're applying for a job, if you're going to be in the area, then definitely you should mention this, and definitely you should follow up and say, oh, as I told you earlier, I will be in town for Monday and Tuesday this week, you know, July 14th and 15th, and I would be more than happy to meet with you at that time. anytime during those 2 days at your convenience. Something like that, perfectly okay to do, to follow up. Okay, well, this is debatable. References on request at the end of your letter. Well, that sort of depends, because it's very normal to put your references on your CV. So this is old style. I've seen a lot of newer articles and such written that say you don't need to do this. You don't need to write further references are available on request. It used to be standard in this type of letter, but now it's not really necessary. Okay, now this is important. If you're applying for a writing job, or you're a photographer, or you're an architect, and you have where visual information could be helpful, go ahead and put that here. I myself have a lot of videos of me teaching. Guess what? In my cover letter, I include a couple links to to YouTube, and here's a couple examples of me doing my thing. Here's a couple of examples of me working in an online class. All right, you want to put in links to something that shows your work, or include, especially in some kinds of, if you're a interior decorator, a portfolio with pictures of your work is going to be very helpful. A graphic artist, hell yeah, I would include a portfolio. A separate file, if you're emailing, your email, of course your CV in one file, and then a separate portfolio. Definitely. Absolutely. Include those in your application. Now, of course, everybody doesn't have that or doesn't need that kind of thing, but if you do anything visual, absolutely. Picture's worth 1,000 words, as they say. Okay. Any questions? Comments?
I have a comment, teacher.
Yes, Jose?
It's curious because you say that you could use bragging to get the job.
Yeah, bragging, but in a professional way.
Yes, I know, but in Mexico it's curious because we have a problem with the persons, especially in the human resource, because we have a problem because they have a big ego. It's truth, teacher.
I know it is.
Yes, if you bring in a lot, maybe you can lose the job.
Well, then maybe that's not a company you want to work at. If the person interviewing is going to be jealous of you, what are the other people in the company like?
I'm not sure if it's jealous, teacher. I think that they see like a threat, right?
A threat, yes. That's right.
Yes. So.
In which case, I don't want to work with those buttholes anyway.
But sometimes, yes. But sometimes the boss don't know that you are applying because they.
That's true.
They have confidence in the Department of Human Resources, right?
Right.
So
which I have none. I agree with you. I hate. Okay, if anybody out there's in the HR department, and I used to work in recruiting, which is part of HR. I do not get along with HR departments, and yes, HR departments, frankly, they can be counterproductive to the company in so many ways, including recruiting. I agree with you. And if that's obvious, you're in a big company and you have an HR department interviews or a series of HR departments, yes, Jose, I would agree. Tone it down a little bit. I would agree with that. I think you make a solid point.
Okay. Can you write the verb break? I don't understand the verb.
Which verb?
Uh, when you are you have a big ego
Ego?
and you
Oh, ego's a
ego.
noun.
No. Brag. Okay, brag.
Brag.
That's a verb.
Yeah, if you brag, okay, I can lift 300 kilos with one hand, Jose. I know every single word in the English dictionary. Okay. Joseph, I'm bragging now. I'm bragging ridiculously, but yeah.
Okay, I didn't
Um,
know that verb.
okay. Yes, and here's another one that I just used with Jose. Tone it down. You might want to tone it down a little. I think Jose actually has a valid point. All right. Uh, Hopefully, your final interview is with the actual person or a manager you'll actually be working with. And then, no holds barred. But Jose has a point. If you're being screened by the HR department, okay, and we will talk about this in the class after next, job interview, because Jose, you have a point. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As far as your cover letter and your CV, as long as you're being very professional, that's what HR department cares about. They don't really care about your skills. They don't even know what your skills do. They're largely ignorant of what happens in the company. Many times. They just want to see professional writing. So you have a very solid point. You can talk about your achievements or problems you've solved in a brief, again, professional manner. Again, compact everything because you don't want to waste their time, but you have a point. You may be screened by the HR department who have no idea what the hell is going on in the company.
Yes.
Too often, far too true. So all they want to see, all they're interested in is a very professional business letter, a very professional resume. Maybe that's
But
enough to impress them.
Oakley, if you put true information in your CV, you are not bragging. You are telling the truth. That's not
Yeah.
bragging, I think.
No, bragging does not mean you're not telling the truth.
I
Okay.
put all the things that I did in my last job. So why am
Yeah.
I bragging? They don't
Okay,
expect
you
that.
just don't understand the meaning of brag. Okay, in I'm in some cultures here in the Philippines, I'm not allowed to say. It would be bragging to say, okay, for example, not true, but for example, I make 150,000 pesos a month. People would hate me if I said that. It's true,
But
but
if
they
It's
would
that is
true.
hate me.
true, there's no reason why you
But that's
don't
still
put in
bragging.
your CV.
Okay,
The
it may
problem is
be it may be true. It's the perception of what you say. It's not what you say.
the ego, right, teacher? Because
Yeah.
the persons don't understand that maybe you could be more intelligent or want more money. It's true, teacher.
Yeah.
Because if you are aware that other person are more intelligent or have more money, it don't be a problem for yourself.
Yeah. Joseph, I think that you just have problems with brag. To brag is uh, it's different than boast. Okay, well, similar but different. Look, I'm saying go ahead and brag. Don't be shy about sharing your achievements, problem-solving abilities. Don't be shy about it, and highlight it. Okay, Vu, see ya. Um, Bragging can be looked at as negative. Now I'm advising you to brag because I'm overemphasizing it because I'm just trying to express. Emphasizing the achievements, things you've done, actual examples is much better than general, oh, I work well with others. Uh, you know, I'm able to, I'm very dependable. I always follow up on my work. These kind of generalities are useless to somebody recruiting because anybody can say that and it means nothing. Either way, you're bragging. Oh, I work well with others. Yeah, but I mean, brag about specific things you did. Don't get caught up in what the verb means. Get caught up in what I'm trying to express. All right, if I'm confusing you with my choice of verb, sorry. What I'm really trying to express is tell them what you actually did, not how you are, and don't be shy about bringing it up. That's what I mean. Okay. Hello, E King. Sorry to say hello so late.
Hello.
Hi, is that correct, E King?
Hello, hello.
Hi, am I saying your name correctly? E King, is that correct? And this class will be the first in a okay. Kind of, E King, can you turn off the verbling? Can you shut the verbling window because it's playing? This class will talk about writing a cover letter, which is E King? Normal to do when applying. E King, please turn off the verbling window. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, anyway, welcome to the class. Let me okay, let me share with you a sort of basic cover letter template. We're kind of running out of time here. Okay, hang on, if I can get this thing to work. Okay. Here's a sort of a guideline. Extremely important and very important to have first. So if somebody picks your information out of a file, this should be very easy to find. Your contact information first. Your name, you may want to bold this, bold print, like your contact information is bold. All right, so they can find you easily. Phone number, email address, Skype address, whatever. You don't know what sort of communication media they use, so don't be shy to include everything, whatever, phone, email, Skype, anything. Now, this is debatable, including your home address with the name, you know, the number of your house and everything like that. I don't do this because I don't know what kind of crazy people are working in your HR department. I would just have the city, state, zip code. I would not include my home address, frankly. I'm afraid of people, and I don't think it's necessary. I think this is debatable as well. The date, the date is very important. Don't forget the date, because that's important for the people working in HR. They for some reason, they're very concerned about when they got contact information, blah, blah, blah. All right, employer contact information. This is the company you're applying to. I don't really think this is necessary. Okay. If you have contact information, include that. This is suggested in professional business letters. I really don't think it's necessary, and frankly, because I want them to get to the information as soon as possible, I personally don't include it. Salutation. If you know the person's name, then please use their name. If you actually know who you're talking to, in many cases you won't, so you can use the old "to whom it may concern." Date, the date it is. The date, whatever date you're writing this letter. Current date, that's right. Okay. Again, all right. body of your cover letter. Okay, first paragraph. Okay, again, what, how you found out about the job, or if you're just prospecting, you have to make that clear. I'm writing to see if there's a position open. And it's very important to mention right away what job you're applying for or what area. Okay, this is pretty much exactly very similar to what we just looked at. Okay. Try to support each statement you make with a piece of evidence. Okay. For example, I'm an excellent at problem solving. For example, when an overseas client had a specific problem with shipping times, I spoke to the customs office to expedite whatever, like that. You can give evidence. Okay. Shorter paragraphs. All right. Again, you're dealing with HR department. As Jose noted, they have short attention spans. So short paragraphs. You can use bullet points in a cover letter. Actually, my personal preference is no. I think bullets belong in the CV, in the resume, bullet points. I think a cover letter should be a business letter. Okay, in some cases, maybe bullet points would make sense. I don't know, but for my personal belief is any job that would involve any kind of business writing, you should write in paragraphs to show that you can do business writing.
What's bullet point, Oakley?
Bullet points, these things. Where's my bullet points? Here. Can type.
Okay.
Can cook. Can cook
That's
eggs.
no good. That's no good.
For certain types of jobs, it may make sense. But my general rule of thumb, if your job is going to require you to write a professional business letter, then for the most part, you don't put bullet points in a business letter. Yeah, occasionally if you have a long list of things and you don't want to write a long letter. It's debatable, Joseph. It's not the end of the world if you use bullet points. Okay. It's okay. You're definitely going to use these in your resume for sure. But it is nice, you know, because, and here's why. The resume, I'm going to see a lot of, you know, you just state things. I don't see complete sentences. I don't see actual grammatically correct English. That's not what you're just listing information as concisely as possible. So it's nice to see a cover letter to see if this person can actually form sentences in English, which may be important. If I know they're going to have to communicate with customers, it would be nice to see that they can actually form an English sentence, for example, which is why I'm saying, you know, for me it might be better to have paragraphs and sentences. Okay. Again, final paragraph. When are you going to follow up? Okay, it could be any 3 days, 1 week, any time, any sort of anything like that. You do need to close. Respectfully yours. If it is a hard copy, you definitely want to sign it with a ball pen with your signature. If you actually, even for emails, they have. You know, you can do these scan things where you can scan your signature and then you can put it in an email. Actually, that's fairly impressive. So that looks good. If you have such technology at your disposal, that's kind of cool. Actually, I am out of time. and it is time to start my next class where we're going to talk about resumes. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in a few minutes to talk about resumes.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Thank you very much. See you guys soon. Bye for now.